Today's episode is sponsored by Raul Rodriguez Law.
When you're in an auto accident, you shouldn't be concerned with legal runarounds, just real advice. You deserve an attorney ready to work for you, an attorney that won't back down.
I've lost loved ones due to the negligence of others. If you or a loved one has been injured in an auto accident, I want to be there for you.
Raul B. Rodriguez and his team care about ensuring you and your family are represented, whether on the road or in the workplace. Raul is real, and Raul won't back down. Call 210-899-0300 to schedule a free consultation.
What's going on, everybody? This is the Leija Lounge podcast, and we are back like we never left.
All right, we're back.
My name is James Leija II. Let me be the first to welcome you to season 2 of the Leija Lounge podcast. I can speak for everyone here saying I definitely miss this chair. I definitely miss being in front of y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in again. We've been gone for a little bit. We've been gone since, October of last year? Getting ready for one of the biggest events that we have as a foundation, the Red Carpet Brawl. It went real smooth, went great. Who can talk a little bit about Red Carpet Brawl?
Yeah, just another sellout, our second sellout in a year. And we never expected for it to go that well as it's done. Even the first one, when it sold out, second one sold out. The fights were great. Everybody was spectacular. Everybody put in so much work and training and giving a lot of their time to get better at boxing and to put on a great show at the Techport Arena.
Not only that, Mark, it was a great opportunity to raise money for our charity, mental health, right, for our initiative, for our mission. Speak a little bit on that.
Yeah, I got to say, what James was just saying, think about that, man. We were here 2 years ago, wanted to do our first one. And then we were thinking maybe it's one and then done, right? Yeah. But it was
as much work as it was.
Work as it was, and then we do the second one, and we'll talk a little bit about Red Carpet Brawl 3 coming up next January, right? But this one was a tremendous success all the way around, from the fighters to our sponsors that stepped up, the monies that were raised for all the different charities. It was a huge night for us. Not only for our foundation, the Leija Family Foundation, which going to give us now the opportunity to go out there and work with different programs in our community that support mental health initiatives and mental health programs. But we also raised a lot of money for different charities, San Antonio Sports, MD Anderson, Mahelia's Heart, just to name a few. There were a bunch of charities that benefited from all of the fighters and the support we got from people that bought tables and wanted to support their particular fighter, right? But as with everything, I mean, it was a first-class event. Food was fantastic. Casino gaming was out of this world. A new place, we put it up upstairs.
Right.
Special
thanks to Boeing Center at Techport for putting on another just amazing event. They are always easy to work with.
Well, their staff is so good. They help everyone out. From everyone, from getting seated to the food to the drinks. It's first class all the way.
Just speaking from somebody, and I let these guys know that, but speaking of somebody who's been in the facility business for 20-something years, and I told them from everybody, I mean, William's got a great staff there, and from Kimberly, who's just, she's like an extended board member of ours, just so helpful to everybody, man, the food and beverage team, and everybody there is just top-notch people, and they really make our jobs a lot easier. Like, we don't even have to worry about the venue side of things. I mean, it's well taken care of. We focus in on what we got to do, which is
they take care of us.
They take care of us.
They take care of you,
yeah.
So for those of y'all asking yourself, why are they talking about this event? What is this event? This is where we've been the last 3 months. This is the cause for the pause in our podcast, is really just to pay attention and focus on this event. It is the biggest event of the Leija Family Foundation's year. And yeah, we just see we're hands-on with the fighters, with the event itself, with the people who are putting it on behind the scenes. We're dealing with everything with that, and it takes so much time. Speaking of mental health and what it does for our fighters and also for our community, Dean, speak on what a fighter's experience is going through the training from start to finish, what they feel at the end. What we've seen, we've done this event many years, but for us, it's been 2 years. So just speak on that and what you see on a fighter from the start to the end.
Yeah, from the start, I feel like as soon as you walk in, you're greeted immediately from our amazing training staff that we have, and they walk in. It's an intimidating environment. I mean, someone who's never boxed before, you have no idea what to expect. You walk in, it's an intimidating feeling. But our staff is amazing. They come in, they welcome you, and we just start from the ground up. Knowing what to expect, you walk in, you have the fighter there, and you just start training one step at a time. And then from there, we slowly develop you into what you would expect inside the ring. It's a lot, but I feel like the reason why they're committing to it is for their cause. That's their fight. That's the reason why they're showing up to training. And I think that alone just keeps them motivated and, training the hardest that they can, because we saw some people in the ring into training that were really, really just letting it out and seeing a big positive change in them from the beginning. So I feel like the training experience itself is a special feeling to see them transform to a totally different person from day one to fight time.
But I think what's important is also that people got to understand this is just ordinary people, man. They're not athletes, professional athletes.
And that's one of the big things we always say is, like, at our gym, we have a picture of Mayweather, Canelo, Julio Cesar Chavez, like all these guys on the wall, and we're always saying, you're not fighting anybody on the wall. You know what I mean? That's real, right? Yeah. Whether you're fighting another guy, you're fighting somebody else who's just like you, who's never done it before. So you don't have to go to that extent of, wow, am I going to get that hurt? Like, this guy's good. You're not fighting anybody on the wall. And we also see a big change in their mental state, right? We've seen guys lose weight. It's almost like, I would say, signing up for a marathon that not everybody can run, right? It's a thing that it's like an achievement. It's a goal for some people. They come out so much better.
It is like a marathon. I would say it is very much like a marathon. You sign up, the last thing you want to do is start that first, everyone recommends start off with those 3 miles, and that's so dreadful. But, you look back from all that training, say the week before the fight, and you're looking back at the change that you've made, and it's like such a rewarding feeling, and it's an addictive feeling too. I'm sure those people are asking, yeah, when's the next one? We've already had people ask, when's the next one? When's the next one? So
we always see them come out with a better mental state. They've lost some weight. They always have such a positive experience, all of our fighters, and even the people that attend. You're not only fighting for the charity, you're fighting for yourself, you're fighting for the people who are in attendance. It's such a 360 like good feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like to think of it as people coming in not knowing how to throw a punch, and in 3 months time we'll have you losing 10 or 15, 20, 30 pounds, whatever it is, and knowing how to fight and defend yourself and fight for your cause. And we all say everyone has a fight. Everybody has a different fight, whether it's mental, physical, whatever. We all have a different fight. And they go in there and put everything into the bag. We always tell people, leave everything you have in the bag and fight the bag. You're not fighting anyone else. You're fighting the bag right now. And we get them ready for the fight. And even when they're fighting their opponent, it's not even their opponent they're really fighting. It's really fighting themselves too, of everything I've learned, the skills I have to do, the movement that I want. I don't want to get hit. I always tell people, the guy in front of you, just like someone in front of you, you still got to do everything you've trained to do. So the fight's really within yourself all the time.
Definitely. And you become I always like to think of it, the fighter becomes that charity's champion, right? You're fighting for donations, you're fighting for, glory, whatever it is, but you're fighting for that charity at the end of the day. You're representing that charity and you're that charity's champion.
What's important to mention, I think, too, is people can see it from the B-roll here, the fighters, but, I get the question all the time, man, I just don't want to get hurt. But they're really not going to get hurt.
Exactly.
I mean, right? Talk about that, right? They got their headgear on. They got the biggest gloves you could possibly
all
get.
These fights are sanctioned bouts, right? Just like an amateur fight, they have, so many protocols to make sure that you don't get hurt, right? If anybody takes a good punch, hey, standing 8, it's a charity event at the end of the day. They want you to have a good experience of it. They don't want to see somebody flat on their back. This isn't the crowd for that. This is a totally different event, but. We're just so fresh off the event. It only happened, I don't know how many weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. we're just so fresh off that we couldn't wait to get back here and talk about it with y'all, because it's such a big thing. I hope this B-roll kind of does some justice for it, but it's such a good feeling there, and we just couldn't wait to get back and tell y'all where we've been, and even the possible planning for another one, right? Yep. Like another one this year, a little bit different, but
we've been approached by a lot of people. Say, hey, different variation of Red Carpet Brawl, so it might be a kind of a step brother to Red Carpet Brawl, but we're tossing around some names. But I think that's an exciting thing that we're all kind of percolating. We don't want to say too much right now, but I think in the coming months we'll be able to share it with people. And
I think people see what that type of event that we put on and what we do, and they get their imaginations going like, man, we could do it for this organization or for this or whatever, and they're coming to us and hopefully wanting to do other things as well.
And when we have individuals that want to be able to experience kind of that Las Vegas vibe, that fight night vibe themselves, people that want to get that feel. It's almost like when people go to the Rockstar Academy, and they learn kind of how to play the guitar a little bit, then they put them out there in an actual club setting and they get to perform or
jumping off a plane and parachuting or whatever. It's
right. This is going to be something similar to that, where maybe we've just been approached by a lot of people, right, that want to have that fight experience that we can kind of bring, that energy that we can bring. So
in a safe manner too,
in a very safe environment. So we're working on that idea, and I'm excited about that one, because that one's going to be a really cool one event too.
And I also think like the event does a lot, but I also think it's our brand, right? It's just us. Like we throw a first class experience and event, you know what I mean? Like it's just top notch, and I love that about us. Like what we're able to do, what we're able to create. This is the second time we've done it, and we're kind of striking some gold here, right? We're kind of striking some oil, which is we're getting approached by a lot of different people for a lot of different things, and we're just gonna swing away, right? But that's just something so exciting that this event brings us, right? It's the opportunity to do more for more, opportunity to do more, to hit our community harder, mental health initiative, to hit our mission. I just love everything about it.
And I think that's the important thing, James, right? Because the next step for us right now, post all of this, and we're still wrapping up a lot of stuff from Red Carpet Brawl 2, but it's for us to then start to focus in on those deserving mental health programs in our community that we want to engage with, that we want to partner with, and then kind of see the benefits of that kind of take off,
we're
right?
Still trying to discover all those things. Like, we're in South Texas, and it's not really spoken of, right? It's still kind of, under the covers a little bit. And we are at the forefront. We are trying to make that, boots on the ground initiative of that mental health fight. You know what I mean? That even just us talking about this, like talking about it, that is what the Leija Family Foundation is doing. We're bringing it straight to you. We're telling you, hey, everyone has a different fight in the gym, but also in your mind, right? And it's okay. It's not bad. It's not bad to feel bad. And all these things, all these events that we're doing, all accumulates to that initiative and that mission of, man, you're okay. This is all for a purpose. This is all mental health, oriented. Sometimes it's hard to find those centers here in town, right? It's hard to highlight that, but that's what we're doing. We're trying to highlight under-highlighted, underfunded, programs or foundations here that have our same goal in mind. You know what I mean? So,
and that's the exciting part, I think, for all of us, because we get to definitely see all of the hard work we put into this event, right? Now we get to see, all right, let's engage, let's partner with these programs that we think are going to be able to help us achieve our mission statement as well too, which is to work with these deserving nonprofit groups or organizations that are all dealing with mental health, everything mental health.
100%. Do we have a date for the Red Carpet Brawl 3 yet?
Well, I think that it's going to be the end of January. And so it's going to give us
2026, of course.
What's that?
2026.
We're in February 2025 right now.
Right. We're dating this episode. But yeah, it's going to be the end of January. I think we're going to move it back an extra week or two. That's going to help us out a lot. I know that the holidays sneak up on a lot of people, a lot of our sponsors, and And then the phone started going crazy, like that second week of January. And so it was a sprint for us at the end. But I think pushing it back an extra week or two is going to give us that additional time to get a lot more people involved with it.
Definitely.
So then that's the other thing too, is that right now, I mean, part of what we want to talk about is we're actively looking for fighters, for participants for Red Carpet Brawl 3, January 2026. So if you're a business person, if you are someone in the community that wants to kind of step up, a company that wants to step up and you want to sponsor a fighter, or if you're a business owner and you feel that, hey, I want to be able to maybe step up and kind of help raise some money for the Leija Family Foundation, then we encourage you, man. Just please get in contact with us. And so we're looking for participants, fighters. We're also looking for sponsors, people that want to get involved.
That level, if you just want to enjoy a good night, if you just want to see and come out for a good cause and see what this event's all about, buy a table. If you just want to attend and see what this is all about, redcarpetbrawl.com is the place to go to.
It's got everything there.
It's got everything there. All the information is there. It's such a great event, such a great night all around. Sponsors, fighters, people in attendance.
DJ.
For us, even DJ, great music, great food. It's just all.
It's Vegas and San Antonio.
A little bit of Vegas, little slice of Vegas. So for anybody interested in that, redcarpetbrawl.com. You can message any one of us if you got our socials. We're all in on this event. Hopefully we can do a little bit more each year, but we're just so kind of beaming still off that event. Every year we come off it just beaming. So, we're looking forward to Red Carpet Brawl 3. If you're interested, please reach out to us for sure.
And I know in future episodes we're going to have some of the fighters that participated in this Red Carpet Brawl 2 kind of talk and share about their experience, and maybe it can kind of encourage somebody else who's maybe on the fence, do they want to participate or not? Because I think the stories I hear from all these, and you're right, everything you just said. I mean, I look at Jason for one, Jason Maciate for one, who was one of our fighters, but he's a president and CEO of Mahilia's Heart, great organization here in San Antonio, who for months, he was training. He was I think he was the first guy that said, I'm committed to fighting. And
how much weight did he lose?
30 pounds.
30 pounds.
It's insane. And he's just like, it's been life-changing for him. So much so that I think his wife now wants to do it for Red Carpet Brawl 3, which is fantastic. But we had other great people that had great experiences with it, so.
We had one of our fighters raise an insane amount of money through our foundation for MD Anderson. It was just an insane amount of money that maybe wouldn't have happened if we didn't have this event.
Right.
And it's just so great to see those things.
Yeah, those are great stories, man.
Definitely.
Jenny Carnes, SA Sports, man, she had her big old cheering section out there, and I mean, but it was all the way around was just terrific. And we in future episodes we'll have some people get in here and they'll talk about their experience, and I hope that for anybody who's watching this or listening to this and they're sitting on the fence, I'm hoping that these testimonials you'll hear from people, ordinary people, that it'll put you at comfort and ease to say, yeah, I want to do this. I want to step up and do it.
Definitely. That's what we've been up to these last couple of months. That's why we've been out. We're really excited to come back and share what we've been doing, what we got planned for the future, just like we're doing right now. But there's a lot of things happening around the world and the city that we want to talk about in future episodes, and even right now, like, hey, Spurs are hot right now, right? We got a new guy that we saw last night, De'Aaron Fox.
Swiper. De'Aaron Fox.
Share with us a little bit about your excitement with that.
Man, I could speak for the city when I say thank you, RC Buford. Thank you to the Spurs front office just for making such an amazing trade possible. We luckily didn't have to get rid of much. I mean, yes, we're sad to see Trey Jones go.
For sure.
Zach Collins, great person, but, it's all for the better. And, man, De'Aaron Fox, man, that never would have seen him here, but he fits like a glove into this organization. Still got more pieces to go. I feel like we are needing a big – man, it's going straight Spurs, man.
It's all right.
I know.
This is what
I love
it's
it.
all about.
I love
this
it.
is our city.
I know. I'm ready. I'm gonna start crying in a second. No, man, it's just what the city needed. We're very fortunate to be able to have an organization where, you know, obviously this past few years haven't been the best for us. But if you look at other teams in the NBA, they've been doing tanking seasons forever, you know, and it's still, they don't get the possibility and the chance that the Spurs, San Antonio has gotten. You know, we started tanking 2-3 years ago, and now, boom, look at us. We got Wemby, De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, and man, the future's bright.
Yeah, I mean, it took us 2 years to rebuild like this. It's insane. It's an insane turnaround. You know, like, well, obviously we've had 5 years not making the playoffs, but 2 years of really actively rebuilding off around Wemby, and we already have all these players already. We got,
it probably started a while back. I mean, that was the thing. It just fit off of what Dean was saying, is that this organization, I mean, you're right, RC, but the general manager, everybody, scouts, an amazing work ethic, extremely talented people, and you know, you start hearing the noise, you know, in the public before
people started honking as soon as that trade went down.
Yeah,
and you know, that's just what the city needs, you know. And now, future plans, maybe, you know, we see that new arena pop up, you know.
Yeah.
You know, the people get, you know, there's mixed feelings about it, but the opportunity it'll bring to San Antonio, I think it's a light that needs to be shined on our city for sure.
I also think that even though Pop hasn't been there, but he's still doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's still very vocal
behind the scenes and making.
You hear a lot about.
Yeah, he's really heavily involved with all these moves that are happening, and you know, we can't wait to get him back into the bench.
I know.
Sure. Definitely.
How exciting that going to be to see him kind of come back, and shout out to him, and you know, but I mean, the tenacity that man has, and I mean, it's his team.
Team.
You know, and but yeah, that's exciting stuff, Dean.
Mm-hmm. On a personal note, though, like going back a little bit to Trey and to Zach, they always showed us love when we went to go train the Spurs. They were always one of the first ones to say hi. I remember Trey Jones asking me about my upcoming daughter. My daughter's not born yet, but she's, you know, he has 3 girls, I believe, and he was asking me about it. Always super cool guy. We're gonna miss them. Thank you so much for all the effort that you've been putting in, all your time. You know, it's not forgotten for sure. You know, Zach
Collins too, man. I feel like he was the one that had the little chip on his shoulder every time. You know, one standing up. He was the, I guess you could say, the aggressive one, or the one, you know, you always saw one player going back and forth with another player. Who was the first person to back them up? It was Zach Collins.
We did not have to convince him to box.
No, and he was the best boxer. I mean, going in there, he was the one that had the most experience, and he was sharp. You know, we worked with him a lot, and I know we always saw it. Every time we would leave the facility, we would say bye to all the guys, and it was always Zach Collins. They always had, you know, busted eye, busted lip, and we're like, man, what happened? He was like, what happened, man? And he was like, oh, you know, just you know, roughhousing or something like that. But you know, he got into it.
The one guy we haven't talked about that I'm super high off of. Who is it?
Stephon Castle.
Steph Castle.
Yeah,
that's just that guy is just amazing. I love his game. You've said he's similar to who? Who do you think he's similar to?
The guy from Houston. He went everywhere, right?
Well, who do you think he's playing like? His game's like?
Well, I think his game has a lot of Derrick Rose / Dwayne Wade. I see a lot of just the shiftiness, the combo guard. You know, he can guard different positions. He can fly out the gym. High IQ. I can go on and on about him. And he's a rookie.
Strong he looks.
Yeah.
I'm surprised how strong he looks in the paint. Just moving guys around.
Yeah.
You know, slowing the game down. He looks so experienced.
Yeah, he looks like a veteran out there.
Yeah.
And you think about it. You think about the draft. We had the opportunity to get 2 guards. Rob Dillingham, I think his first name was Rob Dillingham. I can't think about it. Steph Castle. Everyone was kind of feeling funny about how we didn't get the first guy. And now you don't hear much about him. Steph Castle's the guy, rookie of the month in January. And man, the future's bright for him, man. It's insane.
It goes back to those guys are making, and gals are making the decision.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, they do it.
It's an orchestra.
They do an amazing job of scouting these people.
De'Aaron Fox coming out saying, hey, he texted Steph saying, you know, you're one of the main reasons why I wanted to play with you. It's his first year.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He only has, 40 games in his belt? Not even. Almost 40 games in his belt.
He's making such a big impact. You know, similar to Wemby, such a big impact at that role, at that point guard, you know, like that. I
think once he finds his shot, his shot, I think he's an all-star.
Definitely.
An
I mean, he's
all-star.
going to be in the dunk contest this year,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is going to be, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, first Spur since the 80s to be in the dunk contest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's an amazing thing. That's putting us on the map.
But you can see where this thing's going, right? Every, this season's it's already a success, and it'll be better than last season.
Mm-hmm.
And next season, man, they just kind of keep progressing, right? But you also have to go through those battles, and you have to taste that loss in a playoff,
Definitely.
in a playoff round, so you can come back stronger for the following year.
You know what I miss seeing is you had Fiesta in April, and you also had Spurs playoffs. And seeing I feel like the city hosting watch parties. We haven't had a watch party since the playoffs, and now you're starting to see a few of them pop up. Local bars here hosting.
We haven't had a watch
just
parties.
Spurs parties.
We haven't had a watch party since you were a teenager.
Since I was a teenager, yeah, man, shoot, man, those are good times.
That was about 5
Those are
years
good
ago.
times, yeah. Those
Because
are good times.
I mean, reality is like, I'm 33, 29.
29.
So
29.
we've only known playoff Spurs. We've grown up in that. You know what I mean?
right.
So coming back to that and just seeing the start and seeing where it could go and just being high off these players, we're seeing the foundation being built.
And seeing the younger generations realize the special team that we do have here in town. You're not going to go for, the Steph Currys, cheering on the Warriors now when you live in San Antonio. You're cheering for San Antonio. You know what I mean?
Definitely, it's such an exciting thing. Outside of basketball, we also have boxing news, right? Where we're realizing that Canelo's fighting Jake Paul. When is that?
I
heard that the Canelo Crawford fight got axed.
That got
But
canceled.
I heard that too.
I don't know
Yeah.
about the Canelo Jake. What do you think of that? If that actually were to happen?
I mean, if it was going to happen and Canelo really wanted to fight, he'd knock him out 1 or 2. Whenever he wanted to knock him out, he would knock him out. Jake Paul is not a fighter. He's not a fighter. He's a good amateur. I mean, he would be Jake Paul would be a decent amateur right now.
And you can't knock
amateur.
you can't knock the work that he's putting in, right?
No,
I know
not
you're
at
not,
all.
but I'm saying he's a real.
You're right. He puts the work in. He works hard. He trains hard, but he doesn't fight the fighters.
Right.
It would be like me right now, challenging all these amateurs to fights, and I'd beat them all and pretend I'm the best fighter in the world. But if I fight a guy who's ranked, I'm gonna get beat because I'm 58 years old.
58.
58, yeah. So that's what I see. I don't hate his work ethic. I don't hate the fact that he's making millions of dollars. I don't hate that part. I hate the fact that he's calling himself a real fighter when he hasn't fought one. Well, he fought one real fighter. That was
Fury,
Tommy Fury, and he lost. Tommy Fury. He only had 6 fights.
Yeah, he's not.
He was 5-1.
Yeah, he's not that great.
And he got beat.
I think I got asked the question at the gym not too long ago I asked somebody else the question, but I was basically telling them Mayweather-McGregor is such a bigger fight than Canelo and Jake Paul.
Oh yeah,
it's a spectacle.
You
of
had
course,
2
but
real champions.
You had 2 real champions,
sports, yeah.
exactly.
2
And you
different
knew
sports.
you didn't. I mean, we all knew Mayweather was going to win that fight, but at the same time, McGregor he's going to put up a good fight.
Yeah.
Well,
he put up a better fight. Mayweather beat him easily, but he put up a better fight because he's a fighter, a real fighter.
Well, I love the way that Mayweather decided to go about that fight in terms of the strategy of the fight.
Let him punch himself out.
He wanted to show just the difference between boxing and MMA, which was time is one. You only MMA fight was 20-something minutes. You're gonna be with me for 12 rounds.
Yeah.
And go ahead, do whatever you want to do. And Mayweather's throwing McGregor was throwing some good punches that fight too. But it's like, okay, keep it up. And then round 7, round 8, you see him deteriorate, and it was
kind
over
of like
from
the
there.
rope-a-dope.
Yeah, it was rope-a-dope for 8 rounds.
Yeah,
and that's what people don't see is I have people after that fight telling me, well, McGregor took Mayweather 8 rounds. And I'm like, no. Mayweather carried him 8 rounds.
Right.
If he wanted to pick it up, he could have.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see what Canelo might do with a potential Jake Paul fight. It would be do you carry him and make it worth that $200 million or however much they're going to get paid?
Well, it probably depends on how much Jake Paul wants to pay him. Like if you don't knock me out, if you don't knock me out in this round, like you did Tyson, if you don't knock me out this round, you get paid by how many.
Yeah, you
how
never
many
know.
go in the
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I would think on that one, though. I mean, you're right. I mean, Jake Paul and his company have been putting on these fights.
Crazy fights, yeah.
Amazing,
Great fights,
amazing business plan they have.
Yep.
But, Canelo he's the marquee name. So
Man, that would be so crazy if that happens.
I think it's like the tables are turned on that one. It's like, okay, Canelo, what do you want? It's going to be on his terms, right? If he wants to make that fight happen. But say that fight doesn't happen, who should Canelo fight next?
David Benavidez. That's easy. But will he? I don't think so.
Why?
Ask Canelo.
You know what? I mean, after watching Benavidez Morel, that just happened this past weekend. I mean, there's no reason for Canelo to take that fight. Benavidez will work him.
Mm.
I think so. I mean,
I think it's more of again, you're the legend in the game. You're the Mexican legend in the game. You fight everybody. I think it's more title and like, what is that word that I'm looking for? Like not the praise. It's more of just like knowing, like, hey, you know what? I'm that guy. I fought everybody. I fought David.
Well,
Benavidez
it's just like,
but there's always
Cesar Chavez, man. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He fought everybody.
And that's the thing where with Chavez, like I tell guys in the gym, he didn't just handpick these guys. He fought 10 fights a year or whatever. Yeah. He was fighting everybody.
And he lost too. And he had his, but he fought everyone.
He had 80-something fights before he lost.
Imagine that.
But again, maybe he might be more picky if the money was the same. Like,
but
think
about like Canelo. Canelo says, there's always going to be someone next for me to fight that people are going to be calling out. It's been happening since he's been fighting Shane Mosley, like all those.
This
like,
is just the one he's
back in the day.
Yeah,
but it's like his career's already set in stone. He's going to go down as one of the best Mexican fighters of all time. Mm-hmm. What is this going to hurt him? I don't think it's not going to hurt his career. He's done what he's done already. Does he need this fight? No. I don't think he needs the fight.
I think it would just be a little. David Benavidez will attach himself
or
they
beat. Okay, say for instance he does fight Benavidez, he fights him, he wins. Okay, well there's someone else that's coming up.
He didn't do anything to his career to enhance his career if he beats Benavidez.
Yeah,
true. Benavidez always needs that fight more than Canelo does.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course.
Yeah,
and he wants the money too. That comes along with it.
Definitely. Who are some of the young, up and coming prospect fighters you guys are hot on right now?
There's a couple of them. There's just the whole thing about it is their promoter and who they're signed to and who they're with. Do they push them the same? You know what I mean? There's a couple of guys who have great talent, but they also like there's the artist and then there's the company that's pushing him and moving that career. So it just depends, right? Like maybe there's better guys, but the guys who we're seeing right now are the ones that they want us to see, and the guys that are really good may not, be on the horizon. Like for right now, Rayo Venezuela, Rayo beat.
Rayo, yeah.
He beat Pitbull Cruz convincingly. Great boxing match, right? But you haven't seen him too much. You see Pitbull.
You don't hear of the guy anymore.
You don't hear of him, right? So it's just one of those things.
You still hear Pitbull.
You still hear Pitbull. He had a big fight last weekend. You still hear about those names, but you don't hear about the guy that beat the guy. You know what I mean? The young kid that beat the guy.
It's marketing as well.
So sometimes it's just one of those tricky things,
Yeah.
We got to get out of here, guys. We got to. I have a little something to be at, but I just want to let y'all know, like I had a great time being here again.
It's good to be back.
Good to be back. Expect a lot more content from us. We're gonna, we're definitely gonna be looking at the Spurs. We're definitely gonna be looking at where Canelo's going with his boxing career, right? Even the fights coming up this weekend, next weekend, and all of that. Red Carpet Brawl 3. Again, guys, if you're interested in that, redcarpetbrawl.com. It's your place for all the information. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the love that you've been showing us over the last couple of months when we haven't been here. I've been getting so many messages and people coming up. I don't know if y'all have, but people coming up to me just saying, when y'all going to start that thing again? When y'all going to get rolling again? We're here. This is where it is. We're going to be here for a little bit. Stay tuned for episode 2. This one should be coming out a little bit before Valentine's Day. Be on the lookout for that. Episode 2 coming up. We'll have something for y'all.
I can't wait to get my seat back. Dean, I think you got mine because this one feels like
it's still warm. It's still warm from last time.
I want my chair back, man.
Yeah, we got to find our comfort zones here, guys. But thank you for tuning in. Leija Lounge Season 2, we're here.
Go Spurs, go.